Hey guys, we are Peter and Mary from the Frey Life, and one of the most frequently asked questions that we get is, what is the vest and why do you do it? This video is sponsored by Hill-Rom, the creators of this amazing machine, and we have partnered up with them to share a little bit about my experience with the vest. And I just want to put it out there that I am not in any way a doctor. I'm just sharing my own experiences with this. So if you have a vest or if you're looking to get a vest, talk with your CF care team about your settings and all of that.
But Mary does have a lot of experience. I mean, when did you get your first vest?
I was 11 years old.
11. So you're 27?
7.
You're almost 28, right?
Yes.
Okay, so she has like 18 years of experience or 17 years of experience. And why do you do, I mean, what is this thing?
Okay, so this is the vest machine. It's comprised of a compressor, tubes, and a vest. Although, I'll put it out there that Hill-Rom has created a new machine that's coming out soon. I will be able to show you guys soon, and I'm so excited about that. But until that day, there are still hoses, and there is still a big machine. So here's how I do it. You hook up the hoses to the vest, and the vest inflates with air. One tip is if you find your vest riding up while it's inflating, before it's fully inflated, tug the vest down. It helps to keep it so it doesn't ride up too much. So basically,
yeah, it's filling with air and you can hear it's getting like faster and faster.
And I bet your voice will change too.
I can feel the vibrations like in your nucleus. As if we have a nucleus. But
so yeah, so it's basically just a vibrating vest. That's what it is.
The air makes Mary shake, and she does this twice a day. Like this is part of one of the biggest parts of her cystic fibrosis care routine, and that's because
with cystic fibrosis, the lungs fill with mucus, which is thick and sticky, and it's really not a good thing. It's not great. So bacteria can get trapped in the mucus, and it's really important to do airway clearance, keeping my airways clear so that we can get the mucus out and hopefully help me to be able to breathe easier. So I do this every single day because I want to take the best care of my body that I possibly can, and so I do my best to do my vest.
Yeah, and you guys have probably seen, if you watched any of our videos, like there's multiple ways that you can do airway clearance and clear the lungs. Like one of the ways is like manual chest PT, where I literally pound on Mary's back, or a physical therapist does it. And before the vest came onto the scene, that was pretty much the only way to clear those lungs. Right.
So, I mean, airway clearance throughout the years has changed. Growing up, my parents did manual chest PT, and then there were a few handheld devices that you kind of blow on, and then the vest came out. And it was seriously a life changer, because manual chest PT, like when Peter's pounding on my back, or my parents when I was younger, it's highly effective, but it's really not a sustainable way for an everyday life. It's hard because you have to have another person who has the time to do that every single day, multiple times a day. Or say when I was in college, I didn't have somebody who was able to do that. And then there's the other option, which are handheld devices, which can be effective, but I have found that the vest is the best and most sustainable way for me to get my airway clearance done, and in a very effective way. I am so thankful for the work that this machine does for my lungs. I remember seeing a video when I was really young, like an illustration of why you should do your airway clearance, and it showed the lungs filling up with mucus, and it said, you know, even though you want to skip your vest or your airway clearance, you shouldn't do that because it builds up and it builds up. And so throughout my years, I kind of have that in my mind. Don't skip because it's going to build up. But on like a more realistic level, I don't feel as well when I don't do this. So when I wake up in the morning, my lungs are really junky, that's what I call it, filled with mucus. And so I do my vest because that's how I can clear my lungs.
And one of the, as we talk about airway clearance, this is how ultimately airway clearance happens, is Mary coughing up that mucus. It's not too glamorous, but that is what the vest is intended to help her do, is to cough up that mucus. And the vest just kind of shakes it free.
Yep. So that's what the vest is and why I do it.
And there's, I'll have to say, there's times like in the evenings you do your vest. She does it every morning and every evening, and you don't always feel the results of it.
No, it's not like an instantaneous like, ah, now I feel all better. You know, some days I feel that kind of relief after I do it. I'm like, oh, my lungs feel more open and able to breathe. But sometimes I don't feel the results. And on the times when I don't feel the results, I go back to the reason I'm doing this is to care for my body and to do the very best that I can to keep my lungs as healthy as possible. I consider it a responsibility for me to care for my body. But I also do it because I have people in my life that I love very much. Oh, and I do it to keep my body healthy so that we can continue to have adventures in life. And
so I know Mary really views all of her therapy, but especially her vest, as an investment in her healthcare. Like, you don't always see the results straight up, but
right.
It's a long-term, maintenance of those lungs that are pretty tricky.
Yeah, there are some ways to make it as a little more interesting or a little less monotonous. And some of the ways that I have found are change the location. Every once in a while, we change the location of where my therapy setup is. So sometimes I keep it up by our bed, and that's where I do it for a month or two. And then sometimes we bring it down into the living room, and that's where I do it for a month or two.
I think what Mary's highlighting is to find what is going to work for you to make it possible for you to do that there. Because it really is a big time commitment to, sit there and be strapped up to this machine that's shaking you, and mixing it up really helps Mary. And I mean, what do you do when you're doing the vest?
Yeah, I think it's important to have things to look forward to while you're doing your vest. So having a show that you watch only when you're doing your vest, and then also just having, if you have your electronics in front of you so that it can keep you busy, or maybe you can work on a craft, or I don't know, knit or crochet, or read a book, or watch TV, or color. Wow, that would be creative. Some very shaky coloring.
It'd be like one of those wiggle pens.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can get creative and come up with things to look forward to when you're doing your vest.
Sometimes, some nights, like before bed when Mary's doing her therapy, we'll have headphones, and I'll have one in one ear and she'll have one, and we'll watch a show on Netflix together while she's doing her vest. And it just gives us something to do while she's doing that therapy.
Yeah, and we can also view it as time together, even though he's not doing a vest at the same time.
Although I think I get some secondary benefits sometimes.
Yeah, from sitting next to me or sitting on the couch. I've actually found that the most comfortable place for me to do my vest is either sitting on the bed or sitting on the couch, but I don't lean back. I sit forward while I'm doing my vest. That's just, it's a way that you find that works best for you. So find the most comfortable place to do it for you, mix it up every once in a while, and have something to look forward to when you do your vest.
Do you have any advice for, you were 11 years old when you got this thing, and it was probably, was it cool when you got it?
It was cool for like 5 minutes. No, actually the first time I tried the vest on, it was so fun because it was shaking me, and I actually said, wow, this should be in an amusement park. I don't actually think that that's a good idea anymore. Maybe that's because I've had to do it for so many years, but even though it's monotonous, it is so helpful. So keep with it and be proud of yourself. You know, set a goal for yourself. I'm gonna be very faithful with my treatments for a week. And once you hit that week, give yourself a prize. Maybe it's in a pack of M&Ms, or maybe it's a sticker on a sticker chart, or maybe it's a shopping spree, whatever it is. You can give yourself rewards and be proud of yourself for sticking with it. Oh, another thing is, when I was younger and I would go to sleepovers, or I'd have sleepovers at my house, this was like the coolest thing to show off. I'd put on my vest and they'd be like, ooh, what's that? And I'd get to show them this really cool thing. And let's be honest, none of them had such a cool thing to show off. So hey, you can be proud of your vest.
I remember seeing Mary when we were high school sweethearts, and seeing her we went on a youth retreat, and she'd use the vest as an opportunity to not only show I got this cool device, but also to teach people about cystic fibrosis, right, and why, kind of like she's doing right now in this video, of why she does this vest and how she sees it as an investment.
Yeah, an investment. But I would actually do my vest out in the common area on retreats. Yeah. I did that during college as well, and people were so interested to learn more about not only my therapy but also about cystic fibrosis in general. So you can use it for showing off a little bit and also bringing awareness to cystic fibrosis.
So that's the vest and a little bit of why Mary does it.
If you have any questions at all about the vest, or how to get a vest, or insurance questions and that sort of thing, head on down to that link and you will find resources to help you with all of those sorts of questions.
And Hill-Rom has a team dedicated to helping navigate questions about insurance and the process and all of that, and they've been helpful for us and over the years.
And also that team has been helpful recently with getting this new exciting thing that's coming out. So we just wanted to make sure you guys knew about those resources, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Only your healthcare team and you can decide if the VEST Airway Clearance System is right for you. If you're ready to have the discussion, visit respiratorycare.hillrom.com for helpful tools and resources to get started.